Welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. We have a earlier card this week. Starts at noon my time, East Coast, 9 o'clock Johnny's time. Pretty decent card in terms of some fun fights. Last week's card started out great for us. It fizzled out towards the end there. Some crazy finishes, crazy non-finishes. And that kind of started the downward spiral. But looking for a bit of a bounce back here. The bets were good. I mean, I hit 3 or 4 on the sheet. Those weird fluky ones killed me on the last leg or the last parlay. But we move on. So Johnny, how you feeling today?
Feeling good. Coming off one of the worst, I think, arena cards we've seen in a long, long time. I mean, some of those fights were just, pretty brutal to get through.
Yeah.
And betting wise, I came across and Mansour Abdul Malik. Yeah, he sucks. He's got power. That's it. Yeah, we can agree on that now. He's got power. That's it. Bellotto's probably one of the best actors I've seen in a while. I mean, the dude hit the ground and had his arms up at the ref, and then I don't know what to say about that. Just some really, really terrible fights. I mean, Buckley couldn't stop the takedown. Those fights were. These fights were pretty fucking brutal. So.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably the most boring main card we've seen. The couple fights before and throughout the main card. The Rose fight was pretty decent. That was back and forth. That was a decent fight, but yeah, I mean that was one. I just want to get the taste out of my mouth after that card. That was a rough card to get through. But here we are, Azerbaijan. We are on the other side of the world. We'll see how these judges are. I'm a little nervous. There's some fights that I think are going to go to decision that could get a little dicey, but they generally do anyway. So we'll see how it goes. But we'll jump right into the first fight here. I believe I got it. Yes, I do. We've got a heavyweight bout between Hamdi Abdelwahab and Muhammad Usman, the brother of Kamaru. Both guys kind of sluggish. They both offer, very little. Abdelwahab, generally speaking, is a wrestler, but we didn't see that in his return fight. In his last fight, he didn't wrestle very much. Usman, he can wrestle as well. He's got some decent power. He's a decent striker. But yeah, there's a lot of question marks with both guys. What do you got here?
Yeah, both of these guys are pretty terrible. Even though Hamdi is a legend, he's cashed some good tickets for me. So he's got a legendary place in the books. But I mean, neither one of these guys are really any good. I mean, Hamdi, he's an Egyptian Olympic wrestler. We've seen him in his first fight. He utilized more of that wrestling against Dontel Mays. He was able to take him down, but Dontel Mays just has no takedown defense, which is pretty bad. And then Pogues in his last fight, Pogues has generally good takedown defense, and he really couldn't get him down. He really couldn't use the wrestling. He kind of won with his striking, which is kind of surprising. But he gassed pretty bad. I think both of these guys' gas tanks are pretty terrible. So it's probably a sloppy 15-minute close fight. And then Usman, he's got decent power in his hands. I don't think he's not very good. He's pretty terrible. I think I've faded him in almost every single one of his fights. I don't think he's good. I don't like him. But yet again, it's good. This is probably going to be a sloppy, close, split heavyweight fight. If any indication of what we've seen last time from Hamdi, I don't know. I'm going to pick Hamdi, but I don't like the number. The minus 163 I see right now. But yeah, this is a rough one to get involved with. Hamdi, I think Hamdi would probably I would, because it's in his part of the world, kind of. So I would think I would lean him to probably edge out another split like this last fight. So yeah, this is a rough one to start.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm a Usman fader myself. I generally pick against him. The one thing I will say, I mean, Hamdi in his debut fight, he was on the sauce, and you know, USADA's gone now. Could possibly be on a couple supplements coming into this one, so maybe we get a little bit of a better performance out of him. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, neither one of these guys are very good. They're, it's going to be a slop fest, and Hamdi over 1.5. You're probably not going to get much of a better price on it, but I think this fight probably goes 3 rounds. So try to get a little bit of a better number if you're going to bet it. But yeah, I think Hamdi gets it. I think the region kind of helps edge him in a decision. So yeah, not a big fan. I mean, I've kind of been a Hamdi backer. So this is his 3rd fight in the UFC. This will probably be the 3rd time I'm on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not. He's left a lot to be desired with his skills, cardio wise, and the wrestling. I think the wrestling's better than what we saw in the last fight. So maybe he gets Usman.
I think he didn't want to wrestle because he didn't want to gas. I think.
Yeah, so. It seemed like that was kind of. He really didn't shoot much. I think he shot for a couple. I think he got 1 or 2.
Pogues will make you work to get those takedowns, and he'd have to exhaust a lot of energy to get them down because,
Yeah, I don't think Usman's cardio is very good. And I don't think he really offers that much. I mean, he looks like a guy that's got devastating power, but he's got some power. We've seen that in the past, but it's not like
Zach Pauga. He's starched Zach. Pauga.
Yeah, Pauga. Yeah. Which, I mean, that guy is, what he
terrible.
Is. But he landed a clean shot in that fight. So, but yeah, generally speaking, I mean, I was watching him before he got to the UFC because he's Usman's brother. So, I mean, I knew about him coming in. I had never really been impressed. So I'm going to be on Hamdi here. And probably goes to a decision. But I like. I'll probably be on the over 1.5 if I bet it, and we'll go from there. All right, our next fight is in the flyweight division. We've got Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Azat Maksum. These guys kind of have a similar style. They can both strike a bit. Both can grapple. That's Ulanbekov is from that Khabib camp. He's probably one of the lower guys on that tier, but he's got the grappling. He's got very dangerous submissions. Maksum, he's got some grappling too. This will probably be a pretty exciting fight. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I like Tagir. I mean, he seems like we know he comes from a good camp, that Nurmagomedov camp, so the grappling is going to be on point. I mean, his striking is pretty decent. I mean, like you said, he's got some pretty nasty subs. He gets that front choke really, really dirty, and just, he's a good grappler. He's a good fighter. Just wish we would see him a little bit more activity, but it's like it takes a lot for him to get those weight cuts, I think. It drains a lot out of him. So then that's why you kind of see him sometimes kind of fade later into fights, where he kind of looks like he gets a little tired later on. And Maksum, he's an interesting prospect. He seems to be decently well-rounded. Just his cardio wasn't good either in his last fight against Charles Johnson. I mean, that fight was not a good look for him. He was a big favorite. I think I was on him in that fight. He was like minus 250, I think. I was on him. I thought, he was better than Johnson, but Johnson just was able to outwork him and outbox him and put it on him. Tagir is a big favorite. I think rightfully so. But Maksum could make it interesting. But, the pick for me is Tagir and probably Tagir sub. I think he probably locks something up. It's not a bad number, plus 265. I don't mind that, plus 300. I don't mind a shot at the Ulanbekov sub.
That's a great price considering his style.
Or even inside the distance is plus 200, I think. Because Maxim put himself in some pretty dangerous spots with Johnson, and if Tagir gets in those spots, he probably finishes them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, Johnson almost had him choked out, and actually, he might have had him choked out. If you remember, he kind of let go. He had to choke it, and then when he let go, it looked like he stumbled forward, like he was going out or he was out. So yeah, like you said, if Tagir gets that, that's it. That's a wrap. Tagir's not letting go, and he's either going to sleep or he's tapping. So that moment in that fight really had me liking Tagir more in this spot. And I do think, those finish props are pretty good considering the style that Tagir fights with. Both guys are all action, and Tagir is just really good in scrambles, and he can lock stuff up. So I like Tagir here as well, and I will probably be betting at least the inside the distance. I mean, there's a shot, he can knock him out or land some ground and pound and finish him that way. So I think the inside the distance is a pretty solid look here. All right. Our next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. We've got Irina Alexeyeva taking on Claudia Segula. I mean, I'm not a big fan of. I don't really think she belongs on the UFC roster. Alexeyeva, she's got some big power. She's strong. She's, still up in the air on how good she can be. But, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, Russian Ronda. I believe she popped for steroids or something, and I think she's coming back here. Haven't seen her in a while. She's got decent power in her hands. Decent grappling, I guess. This is going to be a low-level women's MMA fight, and Segula really doesn't have much to offer. I mean, the takedown defense isn't the greatest. I think it's probably Alexeyeva, and I think she probably finishes her. I don't really have much on this. I think Segula is not UFC level. I think she's pretty bad, and I just think Alexeyeva, she's a violent girl. She has power. I think she's going to go out there and try to put it on her. I think she can take her down and smash her or find a sub or something. I like the under is. You never generally see this in a women's MMA fight, but the under is only plus 115. So the books are clearly expecting violence. I don't mind the Alexeyeva KO at like plus 800. I think she can get on top and just smash her. I'll probably be sprinkling that. I think that's an interesting price, but I think she probably gets the job done here.
Yeah, that's my thoughts too. I think she can catch her with something big early and put her away. The inside the distance, I had inside the distance at plus 150 a little while ago. I like that.
Plus 165. Yeah.
But I think she probably knocks her out. I really don't think this girl's very good. Just doesn't have much to offer. She got smoked in her debut. To me, it feels like Alexeyeva gets the job done inside the distance and probably within the first couple of rounds.
Yep.
All right. Moving along here. Our next fight is in the women's bantamweight division again. We've got Daria, I'm not going to get this name right, Zelenkova, I don't know. Taking on Melissa Mullins.
Selesniakova.
Yes, that's how it's said. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. Taking on Melissa Mullins, who's, she's looked all right. She's put on some decent performances in the UFC. She beat both of the girls in the last fight. Alexeyeva, she took to a decision, I believe, and then she knocked out what's her name? I already forgot her name. Agula. So, I think Mullins is solid. solid overall. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a rematch. They fought before. Celestia Kova was pretty much piecing her up on the feet, and then the thing I like about Mullins is she's really aggressive. She on the feet, she's kind of a punching bag, but if she can get those takedowns, she has some really nasty finishing instincts and ground and pound. She lands big power on the ground, good ground and pound. The striking is a little bit to be desired here. Celestia Kova is clearly going to have the advantage on the feet. So yeah, I mean, if it's on the feet, I could see Lesniakova just piecing her up. But I think Mullins, they fought each other before. She knows where the weakness is at. She took her down and pretty much instantly like ground and pounded her out and smashed her. So
Yeah.
This is another chick fight that I think I like violence. I mean, both of these chick fights, we should see some violence here. Yeah, I kind of like the Mullins by knockout at plus 240. I don't mind that. I think both of these chicks win. So like a Mullins, Aliskeva parlays might not be bad luck. I mean, it's probably not the smartest thing to do, parlay two low-level women's MMA fights, but I think both of them get it done. So, I mean, yeah, it's Mullins, and she probably just takes her down and just smashes her.
Yeah, I mean, that's what she did the first time they faced off, and I can't imagine a whole lot's going to change. That one thing I do like about Mullins' game is she's very composed on the ground. She gets to good position, she maintains, and she lands some damage on the ground. And I think that's probably going to be the way it is this time too. She's just going to get the fight to the ground and put the pace on, and that'll be that. I do think obviously we saw her finish her before. Get the finish again. Yeah, I agree, man. It's very rare that we're going into women's MMA fights thinking we're going to get finishes, but the styles here kind of match up for us. So yeah, I think she can get it done inside the distance, and I think she's a solid parlay piece here. All right, our next fight is in the middleweight division. We've got Ismail Nordiev taking on Jung Young Park. Nordiev fought in the UFC. Well, he fought recently, but he took about 4 years off fighting outside the UFC, came back, put it on Bruno Silva, which, I mean, everybody does that these days. Park's been around a little while. He's a bit of a clinch brawler. He's a solid wrestler. Both guys actually have some decent wrestling. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Iron Turtle. I like his fighting style. He's well-rounded. He can pretty much anywhere the fight goes. He's well skilled. He can grapple you. He's got subs. The striking is pretty decent. He's got okay power. Yeah, he's a good, well-rounded fighter. Yeah, big Iron Turtle fan. And then Nordiev, I don't know how good this guy is. I mean, he beat Bruno Silva, but we've seen Bruno Silva is just completely washed. So it's like you can't really take much into account for that. So yeah, I mean, the striking is pretty decent, relatively low volume. He's going to want to, as you said, his grappling. He's going to want to push you up against the cage. That's what he does. That's his style of grappling, where he kind of cage pushes you and uses the fence and tries to control you along the fence and land little small shots like knees and elbows. Yeah, but Park is really good in like that grappling, like in the clinch and all that. That's kind of where Park excels at, and is in the grappling, So I think there's probably a significant advantage here for Park in that department. Yeah, I think Park gets the job done here. I like him. He's minus 180, so I don't mind him as a parlay piece. I think he can get the fight done anyway. Sub, knockout, decision.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like Park.
I like Park as well. I just think this stylistic matchup for him is good. I mean, he likes to fight in the clinch. He likes to fight in the grappling department. And, yeah, I mean, he's been in there with some tough guys. He's, he hasn't had the best of runs in the UFC, but he's definitely put on some good performances. And you kind of know what you're going to get with him. He's a tough guy. He does have power, although he hasn't gotten a lot of knockouts in his UFC time, but he does have power. He can hurt people. Saw him. He had RoboCop on the ropes a few years ago. Landed some good shots in that fight. So he's got a pretty well-rounded game, and I think this is a pretty good matchup for him here. Yeah, I think he gets it done. All right, our next fight is in the welterweight division. We've got Sokyo Ko taking on Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott's, he's one of those guys that I feel like he's got a lot of upside. We've seen a few chinks in the armor along the way, but kind of has that Ian Gary type feel to him where we've seen him get rocked and, fight back, and we've seen him get hurt in fights, but overall pretty solid. I think he's got a pretty bright future. Ko, who was a pretty big underdog on the Contender Series, came through, got the win there. Pretty interesting matchup here. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, Oban Elliott. I mean, one of these cage warrior guys. I mean, I think he's pretty decent. I mean, I think there's some work he can do on the feet. He's not even though he knocked out old boy in his last fight, the dude that almost beat JDM.
Oh man, he's got a weird name. Why can't I think of it?
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. But Hopez, Zal Hopez. Yeah, he knocked out Hopez. Yes. Even though he was probably, I thought he was losing that fight, and then he just comes out of nowhere and starches him in the third round, which was okay. And we've just seen, we've seen Oban hurt a lot on the feet before. I mean, even in his cage warrior fights, he always seems to get rocked, like at least at some point in the fight.
Yeah.
Val Woodburn rocked him, dropped him. So I mean, the chin is a little bit questionable, I would say. But I think he's a good prospect, and his game is really just going to that grappling. He's not much of a striker, even though he can box a little bit, but he's more of a grappler. So yeah, and then we got the Korean Mike Tyson here. So guy, he's a good striker. He's got power in his hands. He's going to try to catch you and try to put you away. I mean, that's his nickname is kind of his fighting style, But yeah, I don't know. I think Oban probably is able to get takedowns here fairly easily. I don't think he probably tries to play around at distance here. I think he probably rushes in, drags them down to the ground, and yeah, I think Oban should probably win, but minus 480 is just kind of hard to get to, even in a parlay.
Yeah,
I think it's probably Oban by decision, even money. I don't mind that, or maybe an Oban sub. I think that could be interesting. But what's a submission or decision line? Submission or decision? Minus 170. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's Oban, but he's minus 480. So you're going to have to pick whether he finishes it or gets a decision. I tend to lean he probably gets a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Oban here as well. I mean, I do hope that he gets that wrestling going. That's probably the best path for him. Yeah, and like you said, the chin, you still kind of question it. It's a little suspect. He definitely has been wobbled and hurt at times. I mean, obviously we've seen him fight through it on a number of occasions. But yeah, I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he's getting better fight to fight as he runs along in the UFC here. So yeah, he's a pretty sizable favorite, which I don't love. I do think the fight can be somewhat competitive, but yeah, I think Elliott gets it done, and yeah, it probably does go. There's a good chance it goes all 3 rounds. All right, our next fight is a pretty fun one here. It's a featherweight bout. We've got Muhammad Naimov taking on Bogdan Grad. pretty. Both guys have some skills. Grod is a guy that's going to push a pace, and he's going to continue to go forward all 3 rounds. Naimov, pretty well rounded. He's got good grappling. He's got good striking. This is a fun one. Naimov, a pretty decent size favorite here, but I do think it's a competitive fight. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this fight should be a banger. We should see violence here. Brogdon, he's just kind of a just walk forward, eat punches with his face, and just try to find that button, throw big power, and try to put you away. The guy's kind of like a zombie. He doesn't stop walking forward. He's one of these action-packed, fun fighters that likes to go to war. Naimov is, he's a decent fighter. He's got some decent grappling, in his back pocket. He's got okay striking. He's got some power in his hands too. So, yeah, this should be a pretty fun one. I think, I definitely like the unders here. I think the under 2.5 is -110. I don't mind that. And I'll probably be taking the shot on Grad, to be honest. I think he's live here. I think he can make it greasy and make it a grimy war. But the thing is, it's in this side of the world, so Naimov will get that extra bump if it's close going to the scorecard. So, yeah, I lean Grad here. I like taking the dog shot here on Grad at over 2-1. I think he's live here and he can catch Naimov with something.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and forth on this one. I ultimately landed on Naimov just because Grad does take quite a bit of damage, and Naimov does have some pretty good pop in his hands. But yeah, the price, man, it's a really tough one, and I'm not really on a lot of dogs on this card, so Grad was definitely he's one that stood out to me. So yeah, I mean, you're probably not going to get plus money on a +3.5, but I do think Grad is live officially.
You get plus 105 on that.
Yeah, see, I don't hate that. As we speak right now, Naimov is the pick for me, just because I think Grad does get hit a little bit too much, and like you said, the scorecards could be kind of leaned in his favor. But yeah, I think this is one of the better fights on the card. I think the number's off. I think it should be much closer lined, and I could see myself having.
I think it's probably wider because Naimov has more UFC history in the UFC, has been fought kind of the tougher competition. So
yeah,
you're going to price him up a little bit. So
yeah. I mean, he's good. He's good. He's
decent.
But yeah, I mean, Grad.
And
guys like Grad,
he'll poke your eyes. He'll grab the fence. So
right. Yeah, and guys like Grad, they just don't go away. So you gotta really put them out. And sometimes that can be enough to take over in a third round when the guys landed big shots on you and still coming forward. That'll zap the gas tank. And yeah, so I think it's going to be a pretty competitive fight, and I could see myself betting +3.5 on Grad. I could see myself betting Grad outright, but as we speak right now, Naimov was my official pick, so that's what I'm going to go with. And but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get on fight day, and we could see some live betting opportunities in this one as well. All right, moving right along here. Our next fight is in the lightweight division. We've got Nazim Sadikov taking on Nicholas Moda. Another one that can be pretty interesting. Moda's got some big power, so he's dangerous. Sadikov, a little bit more of a well-rounded fighter. He's got some good striking. He's got grappling. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Sadikov. I think he's from Azerbaijan, right? I think he's from this part of the world.
Yeah.
I think, so kind of a hometown fighter. Yeah, he's training out of that Longo gym with Marab and Aljo and all those guys. So, yeah, so the grappling's on point. He's a good grappler. He's got, pretty decent striking, some good pop in his hands. But I don't know, some of these fights he's kind of hasn't looked the greatest. Like the Slava fight, I thought he probably lost that fight, which was a war. So somebody gave him a 10-8 in that round, so which caused it to be a draw. So I thought he probably lost that fight. And then the Elder fight? He was losing that fight until Elder had that cut and they stopped the fight. He was getting beat up there. So I mean, overall, hasn't really been. I mean, I think he's good, but he hasn't really blown my mind. I mean, the Terrence McKinney fight. I mean, he got out grappled in that fight, and then McKinney has 5 minutes of cardio, and then he just completely gassed, and then he head kicked him and finished him. So I mean, that was a decent finish, but. I think. I mean, this money line is. I think it's kind of wide. I mean, Moda's a decent striker. You've seen it, but the problem is like he can be grappled and his chin is pretty bad. But he has good power in his hands, and if he keeps it on the feet, like he can make it competitive. Like he's decent on the feet in the striking department. Just sometimes he can be kind of low volume because he's scared to pull the trigger because he doesn't want to get taken down. But yeah, he's got good boxing and he's got power in his hands. I mean, I think Sadikov wins the fight, but this is this money line's kind of wide for me. But I think Sadikov wins. I think if he wins, he probably knocks him out. Probably plus 120 isn't the best, but yeah.
What's the knockout on Moda? If Moda wins by knockout,
650.
Yeah,
over under 1.5. The over 1.5 is minus 130. So
yeah. I mean, Moda's he's live to land on anybody. He's also live.
Oh
to get dropped.
Get starched. Yeah.
I mean, Moda's a weird one. I mean, he's definitely got some dangerous power. He swings wild. He's 37% on his striking accuracy, which is not great. But, when you're throwing big haymakers, you kind of just need one of them to land. So, yeah, Sadikov is the pick for me. But, again, I think this is a really, really interesting fight. And like you said, I mean, Sadikov, he's had a lot of time in these fights where you think he's losing or he is losing, and he finds a way to come back. So he's not a guy that just goes out there and he hasn't really put on a complete performance in the UFC yet. But he's got the skills. I mean, he's definitely the more technical, skilled fighter of the two. It's just a matter of, avoiding the big punch. And if he can get the fight to the ground, obviously that favors him pretty well. But yeah, I think Moda KO is always live. But yeah, I got Sadikov to win this one. All right, we move on to I think we stay in the lightweight division. We do. We got Tofik Musayev taking on Miktabek Oralbai. Oralbai is a guy that I think he's pretty good. I think he's got a lot of upside. He's pretty durable. He's tough. He's generally speaking a pretty high rate finisher. Musayev coming in here. He's been off since 23. I want to say. I believe. Yeah, he's been off since 2023. He got finished in 2 of the last 5 fights he fought. So he's kind of a killer be killed guy. He's got a lot of power. He's got a lot of knockouts on his resume. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this should be a fun one. Oralbai, I mean, he's coming off that epic war he had with Rebecca. I mean, I don't know how that fight wasn't stopped like 3 or 4 times. That was a pretty fucking wild fight. His eye was swollen shut. I mean, it was pretty nuts. I mean, and somehow he survived it. I mean, he took a lot of damage. The guy looks a lot older than he is. He's only 27 years old. I would think he was like 35, but I guess he's just one of these these mountain men that just it's crazy. He looks like a caveman.
Yep.
But he's a really strong grappler. And he's got good striking. He's got power in his hands. Yeah, he's pretty decently well rounded. Just kind of, I mean, that last performance was just kind of disappointing. To be fair, but I mean, Rebecki's a tough guy. You know, he's a good fighter himself. So
Yeah.
I thought he would. I thought he would get it done, but obviously he didn't. But yeah, you know, he's coming back here. You know, looking for a bounce back against, you know, a newcomer guy, hometown guy from Azerbaijan, former Bellator, PFL. Like you said, he's fought and risen. So I mean, yeah, I mean, generally, like, you know, he's pretty. I mean, he's a really good striker, really good body kicks, decent takedown defense, big power in his hands. You know, I mean, I kind of like Musayev. You know, and the line's kind of dropping down on him, which is interesting. Um, yeah, he's down to like plus 135 now. I mean, Orabai was like minus one, like 85 earlier in the week, so a little bit of money's came in on him. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if Orabai can get takedowns here, then I think he's like, I mean, he should pretty much, I mean, dominate if he can get his game plan going. But I mean, if Musayev can stuff some takedowns and get the striking going, I mean, I think he could catch him. Yeah, I'm kind of swinging back and forth on this one. It's a tough one for me. You know, I didn't like the quit that Musayev showed in that Shabli fight, in the Bellator fight. He kind of got like kicked in the stomach and then kicked in the nuts after, and just like packed his bags in and kind of went home. Didn't like the look of that. Yeah, but I mean, he's had some really good performances. Like the Tricky fight was pretty good. Yeah, God, I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one, but I'm gonna lean Musayev. I don't even know where to go here. I think this is a great fight. Man, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I'm going to lean Musayev as now, but I like Orabai. I don't know. This is a tough one for me. I can't land on a side here yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like Orabai a little bit more than you do here. I think the number coming down a little bit, I like it even more.
If more money comes in, if I can get Orabai like at minus 135, if some more money keeps coming in on Musayev, then I probably will be on Orabai.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I like the grappling upside.
That's kind of where I like him the most. I mean, he's landed 14 takedowns. He's landed 14 takedowns in his 3 UFC appearances. You know, that's a hell of a rate. I just think he's just well-rounded. He's fought some tough guys. I mean, obviously, they both have, honestly. They're both, you know, they're pretty veteran-type fighters for, you know, being relatively unknown and new to the UFC. But they've got a lot of experience, both of them. So, yeah, I just think the grappling upside with Orabai is there. He's got a pretty sizable reach advantage, 5-inch reach advantage, which I do like. We know he can fight through a war. We saw that. And, yeah, I think there's some value here on him. So I'm going to be on Orabai. Yeah, I just – the time off, too, it plays a factor, making a UFC debut. So, yeah, just that's enough for me to be on the Orabai side here. All right, moving on to the heavyweight division. We've got Curtis Blades taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Kuniev also making his UFC debut. We've seen him fighting in the PFL. Popped for roids for pretty much all the roids after the Henan Ferreira fight. You know, he won that fight. He looked okay. I mean, he got the grappling going a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, he was on the juice. It was very clear. His back was covered with acne, and he got popped. So here he comes, taking on Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has been around. You know, he's fought literally the best of the best in the heavyweight division. He can't hold up to the top 5 power punchers, but most people can't. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, this has been one that's been rebooked over, like, I think twice.
Yeah, I think this might actually be the fourth official
The
time.
fourth time, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the UFC really wants to get this guy Kunyev, get him in the top 5, I guess, and get him a win over Curtis Blades. I mean, like, I mean, he looked good in his Contender Series fight. He looked decent, you know. But where he really looked good was against Ronan Ferreira on the PFL. You know, he was, like you said, on all the supplements, all the roids, got popped. I mean, you look at these guys, like the picture from his Contender Series fight to his from that fight. It's like a totally different guy. It's like crazy. It's like
Yeah.
the guy's just sloppy now. He's just a big sloppy guy, you know. He's got good grappling. I mean, I guess the striking is okay. It's heavyweight, so he probably has some packs of punch. You know, I don't know. It's, you know, Curtis Blades is a tough one for me. You know, he's got that great wrestling. He's just seemed to kind of abandon it and just doesn't wrestle anymore. He's kind of fell in love with his hands. Questionable chin. You know, he's been knocked out before, but he's only getting knocked out by these, like, you know, by the Ngannous and the Pavlovich and Derek Lewis, Tom Aspinall. These are the guys that are putting him out. But
Yeah.
you know, if he's not getting knocked out, he's most likely winning the fight. You know what I mean? So, I mean, his boxing is good. I see this being. I mean, I don't think Kunyev. I mean, Curtis Blades has really good takedown defense. As you've seen, Almeida, my guy, he got him down, and then he, like, you know, it was a problem keeping him down. You know, he's really good takedown defense, really good get ups. So it's like hard to take him down and hold him down. So yeah, I don't know. Kunyev's a big guy, so maybe he can get a takedown here. I don't know. I don't think so. I think ultimately this probably plays out on the feet, and it's probably a boxing match. And I think Curtis Blades just has the better boxing. You'll be screaming at your TV telling Blades to shoot a takedown, and he just won't do it. So this is probably going to be a striking match on the feet. And I think Curtis Blades' boxing it's improved over the years, and it's pretty good. So yeah, I like Curtis Blades here. I like Curtis Blades as a parlay piece. I don't know if he finishes them, but yeah, I think Curtis Blades gets the job done here. But yet again, this is one of these guys that UFC are pushing, and we're over here on his side of the world. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I like Blades a lot in this spot. And I think we see a return of the old school razor blades where he does. I think he will end up getting him to the ground and just smashing him with elbows. That's kind of how I see this fight playing out. I mean, on the feet, Curtis Blades, you know, his striking is not bad. He's got some pretty good striking for a guy that really, I mean, he's known for wrestling, but he does have some pretty good striking. And, you know, unfortunately, maybe, like you said, he's kind of fallen in love with it a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. I think he ends up getting him to the ground. And when this fight's on the ground, I think he smashes him. I really don't think it's going to be competitive. I mean, the Ferreira fight, you know, he was he taken Ferreira down and had some control, but I honestly I didn't even think he looked that dominant in that fight against a guy who, you know, Francis Ngannou took him down with ease and just pounded him out pretty quick. So, you know, I don't know how much you can really take away from that fight, especially the fact that he was juiced to the gills. So, yeah, I mean, I really like Blades here. I've got him in a couple parlays already that I had tied to some baseball stuff. I'll probably be betting his TKO because I do think if he finishes him, he probably just smashes him. So that's the way I see this fight playing out. I think Curtis Blades is one of the best guys. He's going to go down as one of the best guys to never be a heavyweight champ or never be a champ in the UFC. He's just right there. He's at the top of the list, and you know those power punchers at the top of the division are just too much. But I think guys at this level, Curtis Blades looks like a $10 favorite, and I expect him to look like that here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
a
I'm
that's
pretty
a
high
pretty
on.
big that's a pretty big stand there. You're wow, okay.
I'm pretty high on Blades here.
All right.
I
I
just
like
think
it. I like it.
they're levels apart.
Yeah.
All right, we move on to another good one here. Lightweight division. We got Rafael Fiziev taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Bahamondes is an absolute giant for the division. 6'3", I think he stands. Fiziev,
Yeah.
one of the shorter guys, stands at 5'8". But, one of the top guys. He's been around the top of this division for quite some time. He's got really good striking. He's tough. This is a pretty sizable step up for Bahamondes. He's looked good. He's got some knockouts rolling up on his UFC run here, and size difference always makes these fights interesting. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a significant size difference, Bahamondes is going to be massive here, and over his last couple of fights, he's on a nice little run here. His last fight against Jalen Turner, he kind of he kind of showed that he's got that sub game. He got taken down and he locked up that triangle pretty quick. That was pretty impressive. Manuel Torres fight showed some really good, good power. Put him out cold. He's looked decent. And except. The thing that worries me is kind of that Klein fight. These guys are kind of like similar. Him and Fiziev are kind of similar. Like they have the same kind of body frame, and that would be kind of concerning. But I don't know what to make of Fiziev. In this last fight against Gaethje, he kind of like I don't know if it was because he was on short notice, but he didn't really look the same. He's coming off that ACL tear. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that last fight. I don't know. He in moments he looked kind of good in that first round. He had a really strong first round, and then just kind of fell apart in that second round after he got dropped. He was looking good in that second round, and then Gaethje caught him, dropped him, and then he just like all of his cardio, all of his like will just kind of zapped out of him, which was kind of weird. But he did take that fight coming off the injury on short notice, so
yeah.
It's really hard to take. We know what he's going to bring. He's a really good Muay Thai striker, good striking. Yeah, it's like, what do you make of the cardio? Is that his cardio now, or was it just that on a short notice fight? I don't know. Bahamondes is going to have a significant, size advantage here. I think he's on a roll. He's about to hit his prime. Yeah, this is kind of a tough one. I kind of went back and forth on this one. I kind of see. It could go either way here. A little bit of money has come in on Fiziev. The numbers drop down on Bahamondes. Yeah, this should be a really good fight. But I'm going to think Bahamondes gets the job done here. It's just the longer fighter is able to mix it up a little bit more and just be the younger guy and just have the better cardio and be able to push through.
Yeah, I also went back and forth on this one, and yeah, Bahamondes he's tough. He's big. He's definitely got power. I'm leaning Fiziev here. I just think the higher level of competition, I think it's a pretty sizable step up for Bahamondes. The two guys that really have given Bahamondes problems are shorter guys. The Klein fight, and then I forget now. I'm going to blank on the name, but he fought a vet in his debut. It was a few years ago now, so you can't take too much from that fight. But he did get caught in that fight, got hurt in the first round. Came back. I thought he came back and looked good. He definitely put himself in position to win that fight. So you got to give him credit. It was his UFC debut, but I don't know. I think Fiziev is able to work in. I think he'll be able to land some body shots. I think he can catch him, can hurt him. I think it's a super competitive fight, and I'm just kind of rolling with the old vet here with the higher level of competition, and if it goes down, it goes down. But I think Fiziv's in for a bit of a bounce back. I think there was a lot going against him in that Gaethje fight, and still, I mean, he's fighting Justin Gaethje, so it's a high level guy with big power, and Fiziv takes his punch pretty well. I mean, he got hurt in that fight, and he always seems to fight back. So I'm going to roll with Fiziv. I'll take the dog shot here.
Yeah, I thought about I thought about taking Fiziv. I thought real long and hard. I thought he'd be able to pose a problem, but I don't know. I just got to roll with my guy, the younger guy.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like with Bahamundez, it's like, at what point does he just show that he's really stepping up and he's a real contender? And this could be that fight. He could look like $1 million in this fight, but I'm gonna roll with Fiziv for just this one last ride here and see if the vet can get it done. But yeah, it's a good fight. It's a great fight. Great co-main. All right, so we're moving on to the main event. We've got a light heavyweight bout between Jamal Hill and Khalil Rountree, two guys that have recently challenged for the title, come up short, and Hill now coming off of two KO losses, which is a little scary. But again, the guys he's fighting, big power guys, Pereira and Yuri. So not too much shame in that. Khalil Rountree obviously kind of shocked us all with the performance he had against Pereira. Came out strong, like 2.5 really, really strong rounds, put a heavy pace on, and then just, Pereira just did his thing and kind of walked him down and eventually just put enough of a beating on him to get the finish. But it was a great showing. I mean, it was a really good showing for Khalil. I mean, I'd say the first couple rounds were the best we've ever seen of him. And like I said, Hill coming off 2 KOs, so you never really know where his chin's going to be at. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I've got some real concerns about Khalil Rountree. I mean, yeah, you say he's had you say the performance was good. Yeah, he did. The first 2 rounds were decent for him. He had some good moments in that, but I mean, that's a career-altering beating he took. I mean, he got absolutely. You said Pereira just did enough to get him out of there. I'm like, man, this guy took a straight bludgeoning, man. This guy was.
Well, yeah, I wasn't saying it like that. I was saying it like he.
Yeah, okay.
No, he definitely.
Yeah, he got. I mean, he looked like his face after that fight looked like it was. I mean, the guy looked unrecognizable. I mean, that was that might have been a career-ending. Beat down. I mean, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the level of competition. I mean, he's been fighting in the UFC. I mean, I like Khalil Rountree. I think he's a good fighter. He's a good Muay Thai striker. Doesn't shoot takedowns. He's not going to wrestle. So that's completely out of the books. It's going to be his Muay Thai striking, his boxing. He likes to use those kicks. Which could. With those oblique kicks here, which, I mean, we've seen him absolutely destroy Modestas Bukakis' knee with one of those. So that could be on the table here. Like we've seen Jamal Hill come in last fight with the double knee braces. So who knows what's going on there. But I mean, the level of competition Roundtree's been fighting, I mean, hasn't really been the greatest. I mean, Anthony Smith, Dustin Jacoby. I mean, I thought Jacoby probably won that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
And not the greatest level of competition, but I mean, he's done what he's had to do. He's got power in his hands. Can't put you away. Just really concerning that last fight, man. Coming back here, how is he gonna react after taking a beating like that? What's durability gonna be like? And another big question mark, Jamal Hill. Like you said, he tore his Achilles in that bout. He was a champion. He was on the high roll. Really, I mean, one of his career best performance against Glover Teixeira. I mean, the guy was on a roll, was on a streak. Blows out his Achilles in the basketball game. That's probably unfortunate. It's hard to bounce back from Achilles injuries as athletes. They always say that. Yeah. But now with the new sports, surgeries and medicine, it's been kind of easier. But the guy blows up out of camp. He gets fat and just he's doesn't really care. He's kind of one of these guys. Kind of like a Patty Pimlet that just blow up. And doesn't really. They just eat a lot. When they're not in camp. So that's not what you like to see. And the Pereira fight. I mean, I thought he was looking decent until he got absolutely like nuked. I mean, that's one of his problems. He seems to drop that hand and get caught with that left hook because in his next fight, Yuri caught him with that same left hook, like in the pocket, trading, and then boom, dropped his hand. Yuri threw that quick left hook, dropped him, rocked him, hurt him. Yeah, even though that was, I mean, the performance wasn't the worst against Yuri. He got hurt and dropped in that first round. He bounced back in the second round. He looked pretty good in that second round. He won the second round, and then round 3, Yuri just put the pressure and pace and rocked him again and was able to finish him and get him out of there.
Yeah.
Hill, really good striking, really good volume. I got questions about Rountree's cardio the later the fight goes. Jamal Hill's been in 5-round fights. He's been in championship fights. He's got the cardio. He's got the volume. It's like, what Jamal Hill are we going to see? Are we going to see a motivated, focused Jamal Hill? Or are we going to see the Jamal Hill that comes in out of shape with knee braces on? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's, took some time off. Maybe he got a little bit more healthy. I do like Jamal Hill, the striking of Jamal Hill, and the cardio and the volume. I do favor that for Hill. Rountree can catch him though. I mean, Rountree does have power, but I think the later the fight goes, I think Hill can just pretty much take over with volume and pace. Yeah, I like Jamal Hill here to get the job done and beat Khalil.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I'm a big Khalil fan. I like him. I think he's a good dude. He's been on a nice run outside of the last fight, but he's easy to root for. He's come a long way. I mean, years ago, I picked, God, what is the guy's name? The karate guy against him who loses most of his fights in the UFC, and he lost the decision in that fight. And I thought at that point he was just, his career was cooked. But since then he's come along. He's looked good. He's a tough out. He's got really good kickboxing, but like you said, the volume is on Jamal Hill's side. I think the raw power is on Jamal Hill's side, the cardio. And yeah, I mean, I feel like Jamal, he's had enough time off now to kind of regain his bearings and kind of be the guy that we knew before the injury. So I think this is probably a good spot for him. I think it's a good price. I mean, he was the dog at one point. Now I saw him, he's minus 110, so some money's definitely coming in on him. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot that I like about Jamal Hill in this fight. And like you said, the later the fight goes, I feel like Jamal Hill is in a better spot. And I have to roll with Hill in this spot. It does worry me a little bit. I mean, coming off of two knockout losses, never the greatest. But I mean, again, when you're looking at the guys that got him out of there, there's some big power punchers. So there's not a lot of shame in that. Both guys champions, and they are at the top of the division. So yeah, I have to just pure skill wise, I think Jamal Hill is the side. And as this fight goes along, Jamal Hill probably puts the pace on. And I mean, he's like doubles up what Khalil Rountree throws for striking output. So yeah, Jamal Hill here. I think there's a lot of value. I'm gonna be a little worried the first round, maybe 2 rounds. See how that chin looks, but I really don't think he's chinny at this point. And as long as he doesn't get caught with something big, I just see a tough path for Khalil to win, any other way. So Jamal Hill, and that's it.
Yep.
All right, so there we go. This card starts at noon on Saturday, so you're gonna want to make sure you get up early, get your DraftKings lineups in, get your bets in. Yeah, it should be a fun one. We will be back to our regular schedule here. We got Keg back after a 2-week vacation, which was much deserved. So it'll be nice to get him back on the shows and get back to business as usual. So if you're not signed up, go to nukethehouse.com, sign up. Like I say every week, we got a great Discord. We got a lot of great guys in here giving out good plays, and it's fun. So that's it for me. Johnny, if you got anything, let us know. Otherwise, we'll get out of here.
That's it.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, with that, we will see you guys this weekend. And as always, good luck on the bets.
Laters.